let's go ahead and talk about the Riot preview for the patch. So this is just all the cards that are going to get buffed or nerfed. It does not tell us what the specific changes are, but yeah. Going in, I think that like the very obvious stuff is going to be Seraphine is going to get hit. Vayne hopefully would get hit. Other than that, Auction has been like an issue for a long time. Um, Anything else? I'm not sure if there's like anything else, but like I think those are the big ones, right? I think those are the big ones. Let's start out with nerfs. I think I like starting out with nerfs. Number one, Seraphine. Great. Seraphine needed a nerf. I think that Seraphine has been like a major issue for like literally I don't know. She's too insane. She provides way too much value. She flips too early in the game without any deck building costs. The deck building cost is just like, and we can look at my list, right? If we take a peek at my list and we're like, okay, so obviously you have to play like some bad cards so that you flip her, right? What are the bad cards? Oh, we run one high note and two mystic shots and two discord, and it's like, eh, it's not that much. I'm definitely running, like some more one ofs. But the thing is, I'm not like going out of my way to run a bunch of one ofs. I saw it, Metal. I saw it. We'll talk about it later. I'm not going out of my way to run a bunch of one ofs. And she's still like flipping every single game. And I think this is pretty common with like all the Seraphine decks. So, maybe a nerf to like, she flips at like 8 new spells or something like that. So you have to like go out of your way to try and flip her. You don't just get to like flip her for free. I think that would be like a reasonable way to go about changing her. Some people talked about having her be I've seen, which sounds like just the worst fucking idea on the planet, because then she will literally never flip. Especially because it's I've seen new cards, meaning that like if you kill the first one, then like all the cards that she saw no longer count for the second one. If you like play them out, you play second Mystic Shot, doesn't fucking count. So I think that would be just like a terrible, terrible change. Her stats are hard to change. I don't know if I would do anything there. I think that like changing her level up condition is probably gonna be the best strat. Fan club president. Fan club president's just like way too efficient. She's for 4 mana 2/2, like just the fact that she gives you a 2 mana 5 cost spell, like she basically pays for herself. And like just the flexibility, there's a lot of really good hits in there. You're either hitting removal or like a buff or like a stun or something, right? Like even draw. Fan club presence, like there's so many good hits in the 5 cost pool. Um, I assume that they just like upper cost or something. I think like maybe like 5 costs, maybe like a 5 cost 3/3. Um, maybe. It depends on like how much they want to kill her. Like I think at like 5 costs, she probably sees a lot less play. Like what you have to be doing as a 4 drop versus a 5 drop to see play in this game is like massively different, right? There's like a huge difference between spending 4 unit mana and spending 5 unit mana. So like we'll have to see what they end up doing. I think that this card was a problem. Some people have talked about changing her pool to like 4 cost spells, which I'm gonna be honest sounds terrible. It sounds like a buff because she'll hit like deny and palm and will and all sorts of other things, which just sounds miserable. I don't think that's the way to go. But yeah, I'm glad that she's getting hit. Present going to a 2/1. I think that's really unlikely. Spells cost 2 for only 1 round. I think that's basically killing the card. Which I mean, you guys might want to kill the card, right? But like, I think that that's like basically killing the fucking card. So is what it is, I guess. Um, Tumble. Tumble, thank God. Vayne needed a nerf. Vayne is in maybe more tier 1 decks than Seraphine. Vayne is in a million decks. She is incredibly strong. She is a 3 mana 3/4 that just like generates value every single turn. I think that I think Vayne's insane. I think Vayne's genuinely insane, and especially if Seraphine's getting nerfed, then I think that you have to hit Vayne. So Tumble Change, maybe it's like 4 mana. Maybe you can't equip with it. I think the equip with it is like kind of like the point of the card. That's like the flavor that they're going for, so it's unlikely to me that they change that. So maybe it just goes like 4 costs or something, which I think is like I think that's something at least. That's something. Um, but yeah. Swain. With Vayne getting hit and Seraphine getting hit, I think Swain is very, very, very strong. Tumble might be like Riven, only generates on a token. The issue is that would be a Vayne change, not a Tumble change. I agree with you, Metal, but again, that'd be a Vayne change and not a Tumble change. Yeah. So Swain, I think, is really strong. Like, ever since he got Overwhelm and +1 attack, he's very, very difficult to block. If you don't have, like, an answer for Swain, he just absolutely destroys you. Which, I mean, having Swain playable, I think, is a good thing. It's kind of a bummer that, like, the deck they seem play in is, like, MF Swain. I'm not a huge fan of that deck. You know, it's basically just an aggro deck. But, you know, I prefer, like, TS Swain and stuff. But, like, he does very well He does very well. He's very strong, right? So I think that, like, with everything else getting nerfed, I think it makes sense that Swain gets nerfed. I would assume, like, 1 less attack. I think that would be, like, the best thing to do. Because then he's easier to block. You know, flipped, you only have to throw, like, 4 health in front of him instead of 5 health. You have to have a 5 health fearsome blocker that, like, also isn't damaged because they'll, like, flock the block and you'll die. And also, like, you have to play around, like, a Make It Rain. I think that it just definitely makes it a lot easier to deal with Swain if he has 1 less attack. That's probably what I would hope for. You could, like, lower his health, I guess, make him, like, a little bit easier to kill, but I think it's his offensive power that's, like, kind of the issue. Yeah. Shaman Wind. I mean, Disciple's a very good card for sure. I don't know how you nerf this card. Maybe, like, make it focus speed. I guess you can make it focus speed so they can't use it for, like, a burst speed blocker. That's, like, a pretty significant nerf. He probably deserves it. Yeah, that's like a reasonable nerf. Might just remove Overwhelm? No, that would be, like, such a fucking weird thing to do after they just gave him Overwhelm. I think it's unlikely. I think it's really unlikely. But yeah, I would assume that this ends up going to, like, focus speed. That seems like a reasonable nerf. Like, make it, like, 3 mana just sounds impossible. But yeah. Yeah, but Kennen was taking over the meta. Swain hasn't taken over shit, you know? I think it's very different. Io Stones. Io Stones has been, like, in an insane deck, like, ever since it came out, right? Like, it consistently hits insane decks because, like, the flexibility, like, Health Pot's really good. 5 mana Homecoming is really good, especially if you run Bar, because then it's just 3 mana Homecoming. As well as, like, Standing Knight is, like, good sometimes. I think that, like, the easiest change would be just, like, swap out Homecoming, because, like, that's, like, the base level power of this card, right? It's a 5 mana Homecoming, which, like, a lot of decks are, like, fine with to play and have, you know, like, either 2 spell casts or having the flexibility of it being a health pot. You know, you could change it to, like, Will, which is a nerf still, because you can't, like, protect something while you bounce your opponent's thing. You know, you could make it the new Ionia card that draws 1, which I think that they try and shy away from, you know, like, Ionian Telstone's drawing or creating, like, permanent cards in your hand, unless you know, like, spend 8 mana on, like, a progress day or something, right? Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think that this card's, like, long overdue. I think this card has been an issue for a long time, and I think it makes sense that it's getting a change. Maybe you change, like, Health Pot to Rush or something like that. Maybe you change it to Wuju style and we bring back Nami. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely a worthy nerf. A worthy nerf. Curse of the Tomb. Curse of the Tomb is a card that I think a lot of people were freaking out about when it first came out because, like, you know, it represents a ton of damage. It pushes a shitload of damage with its interaction with Overwhelm, right? Realistically, I think that this card doesn't see play. Like, okay, I'm going to say this, you know, knowing fully well that, you know, if you check my match history, I have an 80% win rate with Seraphine Auction, which is running Curse of the Tomb, right? Like, I acknowledge that. But, like, outside of that deck, what? Like, some Renekton cheese decks that have no win rate are like, seeing play? I don't know. This seems like a very weird card to nerf. Like, maybe they're going to specifically go in and nerf its interaction with Overwhelm and say, well, this should be like a removal card, not like a cheese push 1,000,000 damage in 1 turn card. Maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they remove Predict. Maybe they remove Obliterate. There's a lot of stuff on this card, right? There's, like, 3 different things on the card. Focus Speed. Card's literally unplayable if you go Focus Speed. Literally unplayable. And it already doesn't see play, which is why, like, I think nerfing it's, like, a little bit sussy. A little bit sussy. We'll end up seeing what they end up doing with it. But, like, as it is, I don't think this card's an issue. But sure, if it's something that they want to nerf, okay. I just don't think it's like hitting any decks. Like, who the fuck is playing this card? Saga Seeker. I was an outspoken hater of Saga Seeker since like January, right? Like since like January when Pantheon was like originally an issue. I think Saga Seeker is just like an insane one drop, one of the best one drops in the game. It just gets so incredibly fucking big, so incredibly quickly. Um, I mean, he probably just like loses his stat, right? Like, you know, he's like a 1-1, maybe a 0-1. I think 0-1's like probably pretty rude, but I mean, I fuck with it. I'm down with 0-1 Saga Seeker. Um, I think that like especially with you know, like all the cultist cards that came out, um God, cultist cards have ruined the game, huh? With all the cultist cards that have come out, then like Saga Seeker and like self-targeting gets pretty silly. Um 0-2? Maybe. But yeah, I think he definitely deserves a nerf. I'm glad he's getting a nerf. It'll be interesting to see what it is, but especially with like again with these top decks getting nerfed out, stuff like Pantheon Varus that has been like quietly incredibly strong for you know, half of this patch, you know, will be bubbling to the surface. I think that like, you know, trying to tamper that down is like probably a good thing. Probably a good thing. Lee Sin. Lee Sin has been hitting decks. So I mean, you know, before Lee Nami, he basically saw zero play, right? And then during the Nami season, he saw play as Lee Nami and Lee Akshan, and was very good. Momentous Choice has done a lot to reinvigorate Lee Sin. Momentous Choice and Wuju Style are both like incredibly fucking strong cards that he loves. Um, I think that Lee has been like an incredibly strong card for a long time. He's taking these Ionia decks that like a lot of times have trouble into like Demacia or other board-based decks, and then he basically just like holds down the fort on his own, getting barrier every single turn as well as challenger. You know, he's constantly trading, or he's not even trading. He's just like getting value trades over and over, right? Um, Lee's a very strong card. And I think that like stuff like getting barrier every single turn is incredibly annoying to play against. And like I don't hate seeing a Lee nerf. What's the lead nerf gonna be? It's really hard to say. If you hit like his stats, it probably doesn't matter. If you hit like his health or his attack, I don't think the lead nerf matters at all. You could go slower level up, but like with stuff like Momentous in the game, I don't think leveling Lee Sin is an issue anymore. Like Momentous Choice was just like such a huge power creep moment, I think, for like basically every Ionia deck. And we're gonna see here for Akshan as well. Momentous Choice has just been like a major fucking issue, and like every card is dying for Momentous Choice. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see what they end up doing. I don't think like one health matters. I don't think one damage matters. If they change his cost, of course that's huge. If they get rid of his barrier, that's also huge. We'll have to see. I don't hate seeing a lean nerf though. I don't hate it. Akshan. So this is his level 1 palace. This is the level 2 horde. Akshan, I've said for a long time that Akshan was like fine. I think that Akshan has been a very strong champion basically since he came out. Like top 3 strongest champions in the game consistently since he came out. He's very good. But I thought he was fair. I thought that he was like fair and like felt really good to play and felt fine to play against. I think that he was like the type of really strong champion that's like fine. Um, that said, I think that with stuff like Momentous Choice coming out, as well as equipment is so highly synergistic with Akshan that you are just consistently ticking down his landmark over and over and over and over and over. That like it's just gotten comical how quickly you can tick these things down. Especially since he got the Zolani landmark, Bloodletters, the 1 mana landmark, or 1 mana equipment, one of the best equipments in the game. He got that in his region, so it's basically auto include in all of his decks. I think that I think he definitely probably needs a nerf at this point. I don't think it's his fault. I think it's just a lot of things have happened in the game where, you know, the he's just so highly synergistic with equipments. You know, Momentous Choice got released. There have been so many things that just kind of added up that's like Akshan probably needs to get hit. And it's not his fault. I'd rather we just like remove Momentous from the game. But he kind of needs to get hit. He kind of needs to get hit. They might just nerf the infinite aspect of Horde. My bet is that this just goes up. I assume it's like 10. That'd be my bet. Like 10 here, 10 here. Yeah, that'd be my bet. Relentless Pursuit. And Golden Aegis. I have for a long time made fun of people who say that Rally needs to get nerfed. I think that like once you start looking at like good Demacia decks, like A, Rally oftentimes isn't the issue with these decks, but B, a lot of the really good tier 1 Demacia decks recently don't run Rally, or they run 1, right? Like Pantheon for the last year has ran like max 1, unless it was Pantheon Tark. Pantheon Tark ran a couple, of course. But like Pantheon, while he was actually good, ran max 1. Kaisa, when she was good, ran max 1. And these are like the really good Demacia decks that like have been tier 1. So what decks are actually getting hit here? I think that the decks that are actually getting hit are like Scouts, and like Poppy Tark. And like Poppy Tark like keeps coming back, but like it's not really that meta prevalent. And like Scouts comes back for sure, but like, are these the decks we're trying to nerf? What's the idea here? I think that when you look at Demacia and you look at like mid-range value-centric game plans as a whole, right? So we're talking like any sort of mid-range Demacia deck that doesn't have like this Kaisa combo finish or Pantheon combo finish. The way that you end the game is by running your opponent out of resources and then rallying. Right? You have to be able to apply pressure and punish people for, you know, not trading with your board. You know, they're playing like 1/1s or they're playing like 2/1s. You need a way to be able to actually take your stats and turn it into pressure and turn it into a way to end the game. I think that Rally is 100% necessary in a game like this to punish stuff like Vile Feast. I think Vile Feast is low-key one of the strongest cards in the entire game. And once you start nerfing stuff like Rally, suddenly like this spider that like, you know, potentially kills something, heals and blocks, it is just like absolutely crushing any sort of mid-range strategy. I think that Rally is like 100% necessary to punish people for playing, for not playing for board. That's why you lose to Demacia, is because you lose board because you aren't able to trade with them and then they rally on you. Without Rally, stuff like, you know, Bandle City or like SI that like shits out blockers forever, will just never lose to Demacia or never lose the mid-range in general. I think Rally is a very necessary part of the ecosystem. Seeing both of these get hit is really troubling. We'll have to see what the change ends up being. You know, some people have suggested like if the target dies, then it fizzles, which I'm not crazy about that. Or, you know, maybe just 5 mana. Also not crazy about that. I don't know. This feels like completely out of left field. I don't think it's like hitting meta decks. And I worry, like, I don't know, is this just like a wholesale attempt to like slow the game down? Is that what we're trying to do? Like, I think that Vayne consistently applying pressure with tumbles and rallying every single turn is much more of an issue than fucking Golden Aegis or fucking Relentless Pursuit. I really dislike these changes. I would much rather have seen Vayne get fucking gutted. Because I think Vayne, it looks like it's getting a love tap, right? She's getting some kind of a buff. The devs have said that like Vayne and Gwen's buffs are like going to be small adjustments more than anything. But like, I don't know, man. It looks like Homegirl's getting, you know, Homegirl's getting a very small change, and Rally's dying for her sins. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Yeah, I really don't get it. I'm really interested to see. I want to see what their reasoning is. You know, if we open up patch notes and they have like a paragraph there that like explains it, you know, maybe I'll get there. But like as it is, I don't feel good about a Rally nerf. I just don't feel good about it. But yeah, overall, I think that they nerfed basically everything. Notable misses, Ezreal. I don't think Ezreal's been the issue. You know, I think that Ezreal's been able to exist like post-play cast as a healthy champion multiple times in the meta, you know, whether it's with like Ezreal Annie or Ezreal Victor. I think that the time that he breaks is when, you know, you make Kennen suddenly automatically win board by dealing 3 damage for free, or you plant 2 mana Karma. I don't think that like printing 2 mana Karma is like Ezreal's fault. I'm down for Ezreal to exist, but, you know, we'll see. I know a lot of people are upset about it. Is there anything else that they missed? I don't think so. I think they basically nerfed everything. We'll see what the Vayne changes. I think Vayne deserves a pretty significant nerf, but I think they basically got everything. Let's talk about buffs. Kennen can't be good because of Ezreal? I mean, that's not true, right? Like, Kennen existed in Ari Kennen for a long time. Oh, Bar? Yeah, people definitely wanted to nerf Bar. Bar is a very strong card for sure. And, like, I don't know. We'll have to see if this is enough because like Bar was existing before Seraphine came out, right? Like it was being played in like Victor Karma, and was enabling that type of deck. Bar's a very, very strong card. It's hard to say. Hard to say if it needs to be nerfed. It's a very good. Buffs. Varus. I don't think Varus is bad. I really don't think Varus is bad. I think Varus is, like, as he is right now, a good card, but more importantly, gives you access to really broken region in the Cultist region, right? Like, you get to run Momentous Choice, you get to run 2 mana Spell Shield, you get to run 2 mana Make Something a 5/5, you get to run 2 mana Draw 2, you get to run, you know, the 4 mana Harsh Winds. Like, basically everything in the Cultist region is fucking broken as hell. So like Varus sees play and will likely continue to see play, especially since a lot of other things are getting nerfed. I don't think that Varus needs a buff. I think Varus is like literally already good in the game right now. So like a buff, especially when everything else is getting nerfed, feels like they're trying to push him a little bit, you know, maybe for Worlds, but yeah, we'll have to see. I don't think he needs a buff, but okay. Vayne, I already talked about Vayne. I think Vayne deserves a major nerf. We'll have to see what these changes end up being. Her being over here is like a little bit, you know, it makes me a little bit worried. I get that they said that like Vayne and Gwen again are just like adjustments. They aren't like actually nerfs. I'm sorry, actually buffs. I'm sorry, they aren't like actually buffs. They're just going to be adjustments. So I assume like with Gwen, it's probably going to be like her level 2 skill can't fizzle. Because right now it fizzles if she's stunned, it fizzles if she dies, it fizzles if she's bounced. The stun is the big one. And then also like, you know, if they freeze her, then she pushes 0 with her thing. So like maybe they'll make it so it, you know, like deals minimum 2 or something, right? But yeah, we'll have to see. I worry about Vayne. Jinx. Jinx has been out of the meta for a long time. I'm down for a Jinx buff, sure. Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of like discard tools in the game right now that like, you know, Jinx would probably be happy to take advantage of. Potential changes, you know, maybe she generates a rocket on level up. I think that would be a huge buff. I think that'd be a fucking huge buff. One that a lot of people have been talking about is having the option to discard a card when you play her. You know, similar to like Zonite Urchin, but instead of drawing a card, you know, you could just like skip it, right? I think that's, you know, like a cute idea. Gives you like a little bit more flexibility with your hand. But yeah, we'll just have to see. If she generates a rocket on flip, that would be fucking insane. That'd be huge. Yeah, Gwen, assumedly it's a level 2 skill change. Gwen's already really good though, right? Like she's hitting multiple decks. I don't think she needed a buff, but okay, sure. Jax Vayne is a very, very, very strong deck. Depending on the Vayne change, if it's not that big, then Jax Vayne is probably going to be really good. And Jax is very good in that deck. I think that Jax is bad outside of that deck, but with Vayne, obviously I think that they were meant to be paired together. You can tell by the way that Tumble, you know, like auto equips. And, you know, Jax's entire region is about generating a bunch of like 2 mana weapons. I think Jax is really good. So we'll have to see what that is. A little bit worried. But overall, sure. I don't think Varus needs a buff. Vayne definitely doesn't. Gwen doesn't. Jax probably doesn't. But sure, we got a Jinx buff. Hell yeah, let's get a Jinx buff. Ryan Fang Wolf, bro. What the fuck does Ryan Fang Wolf even do? Is this the 3/2? Is this the 3 mana 3/2 challenger that if it hits something with 0 attack, it dies? Is that what it is? Ryan Fang Wolf, 3 mana 3/2, strike if I shook a unit with 0 power, kill it. Okay, so it's like a 3/3. I mean, 3 mana 3/3 with challenger, like, does not suck. I guess they can make it like a 2/3. Okay, sure. Ravenbloom Conservatory, thank God. Ravenbloom Conservatory is one of my favorite cards that's come out this year. I love Tibulk. I love these decks. You know, whether that was like TF Annie or Annie Ezreal. I loved the Tibulk decks a lot. The original time that Ravenbloom got nerfed, you know, it was because they were nerfing everything else. So they expected Ravenbloom to be incredibly strong. So they felt like they needed to preemptively hit it. I would have preferred like a Tibulk nerf. You know, at the time, like -1 attack on Tibulk, I think would have been pretty good. As it was, they ended up upping the countdown from 8 to 10. And as it is 10, right? Or was it 10 to 12? I don't even know. I haven't played Conservatory in so long. Ravenbloom is 12, so it was 10. Okay, it was 10 to 12. So maybe it just goes back down to 10. I'm down for that. I fuck with that. Sounds good. Yeah. Good. I love this card. I'm glad to see it come back. Lord Broadmane. So if you don't know, Broadmane is a 6-mana 2/4 that stuns on play. And then while he's on the board, if you deal damage to something that is stunned or damaged, you kill it instead, right? Which is cool. Which is this card has like seen fringe play and as like one or two of in like some decks for a while. But like as a really cool card, like I'm down to see this thing get buffed. Yeah, I'm down to see this thing get buffed. Sure. You know, maybe he gets extra stats. Maybe he's like a 2/5 or a 2/6 or something like that. But yeah, what's up, Cray? Popero. Popero is terrible. I tried to make Popero work a couple times. So he costs too much mana. He's a 3-mana 2/2. When summon, create a random Yordle in hand, and then attack, grant other allied Yordles +1/+0. So the idea is, I think you're supposed to play him with the Squire that gives everything quick attack, right? Which is cool, but like he's just expensive, and like trying to like build up a board with him and playing him out is just like really hard. He just like doesn't make a lot of sense as he is right now. I think that like with a couple more stats, maybe he's a 3/3, maybe just goes down to 2 mana. I'd be down with like those changes. My biggest issue with Popero is I'm pretty sure this guy has 0 voice lines, which is a bummer because he looks like he's so full of, so full of personality, right? It looks like he would be ripe for having many quirky quips. But as it is, I'm pretty sure he has 0 voice lines in the game, so that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, we'll have to see with Popero. Swole Scout is what, a 4/2 that gets elusive? Is that what it is? Swole Scout. So he's a 3/2, 4-mana 3/2. When I'm summoned, if you've added 2+ cards to your hand this round, grant me +1/+0 and elusive. So he's a 4-mana 4/2 with elusive. Okay, yeah, that card's really, really weak. Maybe he's a 4/3. Maybe a 4/4. Probably not a 4/4. 4/4 seems a little bit strong. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's 3 mana. They could change something about him. I'm down. This card has seen 0 play. Let's give him a buff. Your newbie is a 3/2 that turns into a 4/4 if you've discarded 2 cards. Is that what it is? Oh, no. Your newbie is a 3/2 that turns into a 4/4 if you've added 2 cards to your hand this round. So a 3-mana 4/4. I don't even know how you change this card. Do you make him a fucking 4/5? Do you make him a base 3/3? I actually have no idea. I actually have no idea. How the fuck do you make this card playable? He's literally just a 4/4. I don't know. Like, I guess like mid-range Bandle just like hasn't been a thing for a long fucking time. I don't know. I'm open to it. Maybe give him impact. That'd be kind of cool. I'll give him impact. Yeah. Maybe you give him impact on summon. I dig that. I fuck with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm down for the Bandle buffs. He's way too vanilla. Got him. Hexbliterator. So Hexbliterator right now is 6 mana, deal 5, fast speed. If it kills, then obliterate the target. I assume it's just going to 6 damage. I don't think this card's bad right now. I think this card's like fine. I think it's very bad Dionia. It's very bad Dionia. But like in general, I think this card's like fine. Sure, we could buff it, I guess. That's like fine. You can make it 1 mana. What, you want to make Yordle Newbie 1 mana? A 1 mana 4/4? True. If went to 5 cost, I think that would be a nerf. Because you want to play this card with like Hyber and Jace, right? Making it 5 mana would be like a fucking nerf, I think. But yeah. So yeah, 6 damage is insane. 6 damage is like, it kills everything. It's basically just vengeance, right? Yeah. Speaking of vengeance, Celestial Impact is what? 7 mana obliterate? Is that what it is? Celestial. Oh, you want to get it off of... Oh my god, Joey. Wait, what the fuck is it called? Impact? Bro. Okay, Celestial Impact. 7 mana, obliterate a unit or landmark. It just goes to 6 mana. That'd be fucking crazy, right? That'd be crazy if in the same region as Sunburst, you have Celestial Impact. That would be... That'd be kind of fucked up, huh? Just like, just power creeping Sunburst like that. Oh, Sunburst is 5 mana now. Oh, wait, Sunburst is 5 mana. Maybe Celestial Impact does go to 6 mana. Okay. Okay, sure. Sure. Sunburst is now 5 mana, deals 6, so it's not crazy for Exploderator to deal 6. So the thing is, the Exploderator is fast speed, which is a huge difference. Huge difference. But yeah. It keeps 7 mana, but fast. That sounds broken as hell. You don't... I think that in general, they don't want to give fast speed interaction to Targon. I think that would be an insane change. Sunburst is still better? I know it'd be different, right? They would do different things. But yeah. Safety Inspector is he 5 mana now? He's a 5 mana 4/4 that on round start generates fervor for landmarks. Is that what it is? Oh, he's still 6 mana. He's 6 mana 6/6? God, this guy's fucking big. Wait, what happened? Didn't he get buffed? Wait, what happened to him? What happened the last time he got buffed? I don't remember. I actually don't remember. Maybe he generates on play. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe as fearsome. That'd be kind of cool. I assume he's gonna generate something on play. That seems like a reasonable change. Troll Scavenger. This card's a 1/3. I don't know what the fuck it does. Yeah, it's a 1/3. When I'm summoned, if you behold an 8+ cost, give me +3/+0. Oh, it's just a 2 mana 4/3. This card's a 2 mana 4/3? Dude, Freljord must suck. How bad is Freljord that you can't play a 2 mana 4/3? Holy shit. Holy shit. Wait, can you play this card with timelines? Wait, can't you play this card with timelines? And wouldn't it carry the buff over or no? Yeah, does that work? Beholding an 8+ cost card is really fucking bad though, turn 2. Is it really though? I don't know. Why isn't this card see play? This card can't be that bad, right? This card can't be that bad. Because it's summoned and not play? Oh, is that how that works? Okay, well, shit. Maybe they change it to play. Okay, maybe they change it to play. That way it works with timelines. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting card. They could also just give him like regen or something, right? Like that's pretty in character. Sign-in, good. When we saw Sign-in get nerfed last time, I said, oh, that's kind of weird that you're double hitting the deck. I'm pretty sure that hitting Kennon's gonna be enough. So I'm glad that they're buffing Sign-in back up. Sign-in, I don't think deserved a nerf to begin with. I don't think that Sign-in deserved a nerf. So I'm very happy to see him get buffed back up. Good. I love Sign-in. I love my Foxboy. I love drawing cards. Good. Buff him back up. Escaped Abomination. So I assume this thing's coming to like a 4/3. Fearsome seems like really fucking strong. I know that's what like Nick wants. I think 4/3. Just make him a 4/3. Yeah. Once upon a time, that fucker was a 4/4, by the way, which was crazy. But yeah, no, yeah, go ahead, make him a 4/3. Bone Club, dude, it's fucking crazy to me that Ornn got released with the worst equipment. Ornn is in the region with the absolute worst fucking equipment on the planet. So I'm glad it's getting buffed. Maybe it goes to like 4 mana. That's probably it, right? It's probably just 4 mana +4/+4, which is like probably playable. That's like, it's a consideration to play it at that point, right? It's a consideration. It probably sees play with Ornn. Because Overwhelm is still bad. At 5 costs probably, but yeah. Shrima does Bone Club for 1. Well, it does it for 3 mana after 2 turns. But yeah. I'm down for the card to be buffed. Shadowblade Fanatic. This guy's like what, a 3/2 with quick attack that creates a 4/3 in hand. Yeah. So what, he's like a 4/2 maybe. Cool. Cool. Yeah, no, it's sure. Or make him a 3/3. Sure. Go for it. Maybe they actually make him 2 mana. That'd be kind of sick, huh? That'd be kind of sick if they just made him 2 mana. Live life a little bit. 0 mana Shadow Fiend. Yeah, make a free Shadow Fiend in hand. That'd be broken, actually. That'd be really good. It is kind of fucked up that they are buffing Cultist Region, which, as we know, Cultist Region is very, 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 very good. Maybe this is in place of an actual Kayn buff, because it is really fucking weird that they're buffing Varus and they're not buffing Kayn. It's a little weird. One of these champs sees play in the meta. One of these champs does not. All right, Wrathful Rider. Let's just take a peek. What's Wrathful Rider got going on? How much mana does this fucking card cost? 5 mana? 5 mana, 7/3 Challenger. So it's just Vi. This is Vi at home. This is Vi at home. Okay. I don't know what. Do you give it 1 more health? That sounds like a little bit scary. If it has more health, it seems like a little bit scary. This is just like vengeance on a body, right? Isn't this supposed to be Riven support? You're supposed to like give this thing quick attack or overwhelm or something? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to. I'm pretty sure that's the idea of the card. Give me a quick attack. Let's do it. I don't know. We'll see. Do whatever you want with it, I guess. Maybe they make it 10 attack. Maybe they actually make it Vi. That'd be kind of base, huh? 10 attack? 10/3? Gorlith. So Gorlith right now is a 0/10, right? 0/10 that swaps his health with your Nexus. And then he's not blockable. He's literally just not blockable. Maybe Gorlith goes up to 12 health. Wait, how much mana does he cost? Does he cost 9? Can we make him 8 mana? He's probably really scary at 8 mana. He's probably really scary at 8 mana. This fucker can't be blocked, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that. You literally cannot block this guy. You cannot block this guy. Spell Shield? Spell Shield's an option. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he gives your Nexus tough or something. I dig it. Dusk Rider. Dusk Rider? Buff to Dusk Rider is good because he's what I always hit off of Unspeakable. He does not suck in Nightfall because he gets very big in Nightfall. And he's fearsome, so like he kind of sucks, but he's not that bad. I think he's less bad than people think he is. He's still kind of expensive, but he's less bad than people think he is. I don't know what you just like make him 4 mana, make him like a 4 mana 3/3. Fearsome to Overwhelm. I think Overwhelm would be insane. Overwhelm would be fucking insane. There's no shot. Maybe they make him like a 4 mana 3/3 or something. That could be cool. That could be cool. Reaver's Row. We are continuing the trend of landmarks that I talk about getting changed. First it was Ravine, then it was Targon's Peak. This patch, they're changing Akshan, who I've been talking about for a long time, as well as Reaver's Row. I'm sure you guys saw the YouTube video, but Reaver's Row with Talia is already kind of a really fucking funny card. Reaver's Row Talia is like close to being Thralls. It's like discount Thralls. So if it ends up getting, if it ends up being like playable, I mean, I don't. It could be kind of scary. That's what I'm saying. If they change it to 4 mana, okay. If you change this card to 4 mana, no cap, Mono Talia is probably close to a tier 1 deck. If you change this card to 4 mana, I think it's close to a tier 1 deck. I think it would be so fucking cringe. Make a guy in summon. That might be an option too. But yeah, no, I think this card's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's buff it. Let's buff it. Banal Tellstones is literally unplayable right now. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe Heroic Refrain is cool in it. But like other than that, Yordle Contraption is unplayable, and then the other one is like Poppy Spell, like bounces something. It's like kind of cool. Maybe change Yordle Contraption to like, what the fuck do you change it to? God, I don't even know. Mini would probably be too strong. Portapalooza? I'd be super down for Portapalooza, but that seems unlikely. Poke Pathways Minimorph sounds broken. Portapalooza is a funny idea. It might be too expensive still, but it's a very funny idea. I don't know. It's fucking unplayable, right? Like Bandle and Targon have the worst Hellstones by far. So I'm down for a change to it. We'll see. Stress Defense is a cool idea, actually. Stress Defense is... But, like, Stress Defense kind of takes heroic refrains, you know? Hard to say. Check the Bandle spells. I don't think that they're that interesting. Like, there's not that many, like, compelling options. Like... Electro Harpoon? Maybe Electro Harpoon. I could see Electro Harpoon, actually. That would make sense. Quicken? I mean, Heroic Refrain, I think, is staying there. Lightning Rush is cute. Yeah, I don't know. Magical Journey? I think that card's unplayable. Wallop, maybe? Maybe Wallop is the answer. Oh, it could also be like a Sneezy Biggle Dust. Oh, Biggle Dust would actually be really funny. Or even like Spirit Portal. Spirit Portal could be funny. I don't know. There's definitely options. I'm open to it. Spirits Unleashed. It has a really cool, if you have not seen it, has a very cool animation. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, card, kind of bad. What is it? It's like, it's Ice Shard. It's Ice Shard that buffs your board. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just make it 4 mana. Maybe they make it 4 mana and then maybe it's playable? Probably still not. It kind of has the issue of being in Freljord where, you know, shit like this, you just have no value. So, like, you know, it's not that great. But yeah, maybe it'll be okay. Maybe. Rot Colossus is the 8 mana 8/8. Rot. 8 mana 8/8 Overwhelm. First time equipped, you get a copy of them. Yeah, this card's fucking terrible and incredibly fucking slow. Maybe he's 6 mana. I think it's 6 mana would be really good. You know, 7 mana, at 7 mana he's fucking Thrumming Swarm, right? He's a big Thrumming Swarm. He's a big Thrumming Swarm. Maybe like a 7 mana 7/7. Maybe that's it. How about that? 7 mana 7/7. We give Spell Shield maybe? Huh? How do you feel about Spell Shield? Oh, you could equip him on play with something that costs like... What if the Bone Club... Okay, chat. What if he can go to the Bone Club on summon? He just automatically goes to the Bone Club, equips it. It's a 2-card combo! Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Either way, card really fucking slow right now. Darken Ballista. Darken Ballista. Okay, so 1 mana plus 2 attack when you deal 1 to the Nexus. Okay, so Naganika is unplayable. If they buff Naganika, that's like... I don't know, maybe they make Naganika cheaper. Maybe play it for like 7 mana. As it is though, I think that this card's like almost playable. I think this card's like actually not that bad. Yo, what's up, Dan? How's it going? Watching on the huge screen in the cafeteria? Oh god. Did you see me bitch about the rally nurse? I hope you didn't see that. I appreciate you, bud. Hope you're doing well. I think this card's like close to playable. I was playing this in like Draven Fizz. I don't know, maybe you just give it 3 attack or something. It's probably like good then, right? It probably sees play. You understand this card? It's just like a permanent replayable thing. It's supposed to be like a cheap stat buff that just like pings you, right? So you're like paying health for like cheap stats. I don't know. We'll have to see what they end up doing with it. Pathless Ancient. I don't even know what this card does. Is it like cheaper when you recall something? Okay, so he's a 2 mana 4/3 if you've recalled a unit this round. Just make him like a 4/4? I don't know. I don't know how you change this card. He's 2 mana. I'm surprised by like... So like Yordle Newbie's a 3 mana 4/4, right? Which is like, you know, 3 mana 4/4s are like okay. This card, Troll Scavenger's a fucking 2 mana 4/3. Pathless Ancient is a 2 mana 4/3? Thanks for playing our game. Appreciate you, bud. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that these like really cheap stat sticks don't see any play. It's very interesting. We'll have to see. I don't know. Maybe he's just like a 4/4. Laurent Duelist. This card's like a 4/3. Does he have 4 mana 4/3 with? He's not the one with Last Breath, right? He's not Chevalier. Oh, he gives someone Challenger, right? Yeah. He gives someone Challenger on play. 3 mana 4/2. Give an ally Challenger. Maybe he gives himself Challenger too. He just goes and kills someone. You could give him Quick Attack. I don't know. You could probably do something with him. I think that somebody said that change is real, right? Was it Mormon? Was it Walrus? Yeah, John Mormon. I think that he said something about this change, didn't he? What did he say? He said that Vayne and Gwen buffs are more adjustments, and then the Laurent Chevalier buff is the real deal, though. But he meant Duelist. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just, like, gives Quick Attack or something. There's definitely, like, crazy shit you could do. Because, like, giving something Challenger, would Grant be good? Grant would probably be, like, really good, huh? We'll have to see. Especially since, Vayne. We'll have to see how much of a nerf Vayne's getting. Void Seeker. What does this card do? Is it 1 mana, ping 1? It sometimes pings 3 if you're evolved? Is that what it is? What's this card called? Void Seeker Missile? Void Seeker. Alright. Deal 1 to a follower. Maybe you could target champions. That seems like a reasonable change. It's Shurima, so do we really want to buff it? Shurima already has all the best cards. But yeah, 1 mana, deal 3. If it can hit champions, maybe it's playable. Yeah, sure. Shatter. I mean, I do like Void Seeker can destroy equipment. Maybe. I think that Shatter buff. I like a Shatter buff because it's a Seraphine buff. Because, of course, this card isn't seeing play outside of being generated for Seraphine. What do you do to this card? I mean, maybe Shatter destroys weapons. Maybe fast speed. Frostbites usually are a no-go. 1 mana. That would be a Seraphine nerf. I'm down for it. Deal 5. I don't think deal 5 ever matters, right? Yeah, maybe it's just 1 mana. Maybe it's 0 mana. Have we considered that? It might just like give vulnerable. What's the card that like frostbites and gives vulnerable? Is that also 2 mana? I don't know. There's a lot of rough Freljord spells. Caught in the Cold is frostbite and vulnerable. Okay, so you probably can't give it. You probably can't give a vulnerable. That probably wouldn't work. I mean, I don't know. Just throw fucking destroy equipment on every single card. I dig it. Overall, I think that like the buffs, I dig them. I think they're great. I think they're hitting a lot of cards that like probably need buffs. I'm a little bit worried about Varus and Vayne and Gwen and Jax, and I don't know if they need buffs, but we'll have to see. Especially if Vayne and Gwen ones are small. And as far as nerfs, I think basically everything got hit. Again, I'm not crazy about rally nerfs. But it's okay. We'll see. I'm excited to hear the context on why these cards are getting nerfed. Because as it is... also Curse. I don't know if Curse needed a nerf. Either way, though, I'm excited for the patch. I'm really excited for it. Hopefully Seraphine's just like a little bit less oppressive. I like Seraphine a lot. I think Seraphine's really fun. So like I'm down to see her be played, be playable, and be played at Worlds. I'm definitely down for that. But definitely toned down just a little bit. But yeah. What do you guys think?